Hi folks, Glenn Greshtek, the King of Home Comfort, back at you here. This video is going to be a little bit different than the previous series that I run, where I kind of cover a topic and kind of go on a conversation about that. This one is actually a friend of mine who happens to own Urban Automotive in Oakville, Ontario at 497 Maple Grove Drive. His name is Mike Irwin, owns Urban Automotive, so if anybody out there is in that area and ever needs a car repair, Mike is the absolute best of the best. This man is a genius in customer service, so I've learned quite a few valuable lessons from him over the years. Anyway, Michael sent a question in, a couple of questions. One is he has a 7-year-old furnace into his home and he finds it extremely dry. Then the second one is about filtration. So I'll kind of deal with the dryness issues first. Now, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about this, so there's several questions I would like to ask him. And I would ask is, what type of furnace is this, Mike? I know you told me the manufacturer, but is it a mid-efficiency furnace? Is it a single-pipe high-efficiency furnace? Or is it a two-pipe high-efficiency done properly and installed the right way, like the way it should be? Now, if it's the first two, like a mid-efficiency or a single-pipe high, for every cubic meter of gas that system burns, it's burning 15 cubic meters of air. And air is what holds your moisture. So the more it's on, in other words, the colder it is outside, the more you're running your furnace, the drier and drier it will get. And in some cases, it can actually get below 9% humidity inside a home, which is lower than what the Sahara Desert is. So it gets extremely dry. Now, symptoms of dryness is dry skin, chapped lips, bloody noses, headaches, nausea, just not feeling well, or zaps. When you're touching something, you get those electronic zaps on there, static zaps. Now that is extremely, extremely low humidity. So if you're having those kind of issues into the home, yes, Mike, you should have a humidifier. I'm not saying you should have one of those old school drum types, because I still see them in people's homes today, and you wouldn't believe the amount of mold and mildew and filth that you see sometimes rotating on those things if they are even working. Now I used to joke with some customers about, for $100, would you drink a glass of water out of that? And people are like, oh gosh, no, I would never do that. Then I kind of follow that up with a question is, okay, if you wouldn't drink that, why do you think it's okay to breathe that? Perhaps we should take a look at upgrading that. And they usually agree. Now, the best ones today, or the low-cost alternative to that, I should say, not the best, but the low-cost alternative is a flow-through humidifier that bypasses from the return, it bypasses the furnace and goes into the plenum area above the furnace, but it has a drain type, so it's a flow-through. So there's no sitting, standing water that can fester. Now, these use up to 85% less water, but actually maintain the humidity levels where you want them to be, between 35 and 45%. Now, as I mentioned earlier, how dry it is in southern Ontario in the winter, houses actually lose tons and tons of weight because wood, for example, does not know that it's dry. It does not know it stopped being a tree. I should say that's dry. It doesn't know it's being a tree anymore, so it needs a proper amount of moisture, and you want it between 35 and 45%. If it's too low, you'll have all those symptoms I've talked to you about, including splitting and cracking wood and having to tune your pianos all the time. Now, if there's too much, that's a totally different issue altogether. Newer homes have moisture that kind of builds up on windows and causes mold and mildew. Now that's a totally different device. That would be a key recovery ventilator, but that's not the issues that Michael is having here. So hopefully that answers your question, Michael. So yes, you should have a humidifier. No, you don't want an old school drum humidifier. You want either a flow-through humidifier, or if you're really, really dry and you need massive amounts of humidity, you need a steam humidifier, which will give you much, much more moisture inside the home. A little more costly, but if that's what the issue is, those are the two options there. Now the second question you had is about filtration. You said to me that you change your filter about every 3 months. Now the question I would have there is, what type of filter is this? Is it a big box filter, a media cartridge filter? Is it a standard 1-inch filter? Is it a 3M type of filtrate 1-inch filter? Is it an electronic air cleaner? Those type of things. So I don't know which filter you're looking at. There's different types, all kinds of different types today. I would, however, not recommend using the 3M filtrates, because a good filter, what it will do is get the dirt but allow the air to go through. A poor filter will do no dirt catching and allow the air to go through. A 3M filtrate will catch the dirt but also block the airflow, which makes your equipment run harder and can actually basically make it break down much sooner than it ever needs to be. Now, filtration, I recommend as a minimum, but it's a MERV. MERV is a manufacturer's rating on terms of the filtration amount of dirt that it catches in terms of what levels. Now, a MERV 11 would be the minimum, and it's a 5.5-inch box filter with some deep pleats, but not as many. That will catch a lot of dirt and dust. A MERV 16 manual filter, the tip of this pen is 70 microns, kind of like the human hair if I was to pull one out right here. 70 microns. Now, these filters will get down to 0.3 microns 97% of the time. So that's microscopic stuff that our eyes can't even see. Okay, so it's kind of that stuff you see floating in the sun in the windows in the summer months. catches little microscopic particles that, again, you can't even see. Now, if you have really bad allergies or asthma, there's all kinds of different filters that you can get. You can get HEPA filtration. You can have stuff with ultraviolet light inside there, which will get rid of the germs and viruses, mold and mildew. But for most people, the MERV 16 filter seems to fit the bill quite well. Unless, of course, you want to really have the best hospital-like air, then you can go to the HEPA filtration with the ultraviolet lights and all kinds of different filters like that. But filtration, you should look at that. I would say every 30 days as a minimum, depending on the filter. The media cartridge, I'd still go down there, kind of back in them out, but they could last you up to a year or two as well, right? So there's, again, different filters, different times. So this is very much a generic question answer for you there, Michael, and for everybody else out there, which I hope you found very valuable information. So once again, Glenn Greshtuk, the King of Home Comfort, right back at you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you too have any questions, by all means, email them, message them to me, and I'll try to get back to you too as well. But thank you for the idea, Michael, and everybody, have a great day. Bye for now.